fathers. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the quality of his actions and the integrity of his intent. Douglas MacArthur. Our guest tonight has always been in the eyes of the storm, time and time again, but has proven to show leadership. He hails from Aveyime Bator in the Volta region of Ghana. His formative years in secular and spiritual education saw him raised at the Presbyterian Boys Senior Secondary School, Presec, Legon. Well, they serve a great God, indeed. Where he also served as the vice president of the Scripture Union. Well, a lot goes into it. From the edges of Medina, looking at West Legon, aided his decision to cross the main road to pursue a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science and philosophy at the premier university, University of Ghana. It was no surprise that barely a year before he completed his degree, that his political career took shape. Yes, he got into politics. He was instrumental in the political communication and messaging which clinched electoral victory for former President Mills in the 2008 elections. He became Deputy Information Minister in the first term and later Education Minister in the 8 years, Deputy Education Minister in the 8 years of the Mills Mahama Mr. Arthur administration. He holds a Master of Arts in Communication Media, Public Relations from the University of Leicester, a certificate in leadership from the Harvard Kennedy School of Governance, USA, and a Master of Science in Defense and International Politics from the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Today, he represents the people of North Tong, a member of parliament, yes, a position he has held since 2013. He's none other than Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, my special guest right here on the award-winning personality show STARR CHAT. Welcome, Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Bolare. Good to see you.
How have you been? I can see that
a long time.
Long time. Yes. I can see you rushed into the studios.
Yes.
Coming from
the constituency.
The constituency.
Yes. I was in Mepes and Kizito displaced camp. I had promised my teachers a special package today. So we had planned this earlier in the week. So when your invitation came, I said, no, I have to. So I was in Parliament yesterday for the budget, stayed this morning for Her Excellency Teresa Kufuor's funeral. Right. And let me renew my condolences to former President Kufuor and the entire family and the MPP fraternity. So I did 2 hours in that funeral and then rushed to the constituency to launch the initiative. I'm calling it the MP's rent support for displaced teachers and staff of the district office.
Wow, so you launched an initiative today?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Which cost me 100,000 cedis. We have 167 teachers, professional teachers, and staff of the education office who have been displaced. So they were affected by the VR-induced floods.
167 teachers?
Yes. And
it means that education has been curtailed or brought to a standstill, right?
I mean, you know that we have 21 displaced camps in schools. All these camps are in schools. The Mepes and Kizito Secondary School is a displaced camp, the biggest displaced camp, where you have more than 1,500 displaced persons. All the other camps, like Betikpo, DA School, Bator, DA School, Presby, DA School, the RC School in Mafa. So 21 of these schools are serving as displaced camps now. But we've done the data. We've noticed that 167 teachers are severely affected, and a lot of them left town. You can understand they had to just flee, come to Accra and other places where they could find succor. And so we are now trying to attract them to come back. And this latest initiative is to get all of them to access this fund. We don't want to leave the teachers behind. We want them to know we appreciate their sacrifices. And a lot of them helped in rescuing the children
Right.
when the flood waters came, before they had to leave town themselves. They've lost their homes, they've lost valuables, and it is important to support them. So I donated 100,000 cedis to the education director, the district education director, and we have announced that.
And this is not from the common fund, or this is a personal donation.
It's a
100,000 Ghana cedis to launch that foundation.
Yes, so that it can help them to rent alternative accommodation. And then we had more groups coming in. Today we received 3 groups. The National Women's Wing of the Assemblies of God Church, amazing group of ladies.
Right.
They made a beautiful donation today. God bless them. And then the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana. Will you believe that students are always broke, but they managed to mobilize something to donate.
Can you help us, Honorable? So far, yes, we know the government has actually made provision of 200, which will come to 220 million Ghana cedis. But how much money have we realized? Are we keeping track of it? Because day in, day out, we see people trooping to make donations. Yes, we have the food items and all of that and other relief items. But cash donation, are we keeping track of that? And how much are we?
Yes, we are. And let me emphasize that, you see, we don't have in our governance arrangement structures that prepares us and that also serve as institutions to really safeguard transparency and accountability in a crisis such as this.
But NADMO is there. They can set a wing or a body or a disc.
Yeah, but you see, NADMO is serving the central government. They have tried to coordinate. So at the district assembly office, they have a coordination point. But to the extent that we are the elected officials, and you see, NADMO is coming from outside, coming from the capital, coming from Accra, and people are more comfortable in donating to the member of parliament because they know that we are on the ground, we are more accountable to the people, and if you fail to do your work, you will be punished at the poll. The people don't really know the NADMO officials. NADMO sent the Deputy Director General Sergi Sachmo, who I must commend him, stayed with us for about 3 weeks.
Right.
I've been in the constituency for about 6 weeks now.
So you single out NADMO for praise, that they've done very well in this situation?
Yes, they have done their best, even though they have been under-resourced. They have a resource challenge. So what I did, remember I was making the point about how we don't have structures that really can handle such a crisis situation.
Right.
So immediately I set out to create the structures. So in Northton, we have created what we call the Accountability Elders Council.
Wow.
So we have the chiefs, we have prominent elders who are serving on this council, and they are present at every donation. If you have observed, there is no donation that has come to Northton which is received privately or in the dark,
all
or
in
my office. It's all in the open. I actually make it's a must. You must come to any of the displaced camps. We call it DEBA. The victims will be there to see the items. You read out openly what you have brought, the quantities.
So you set that up?
Yes,
it's not
I
coming
set that
from
up. No, it's
the
not,
DC or the minister?
No, it's not in the assembly bylines. It's not in the constitution. It's not. I had to just set it up so that to protect everybody and to also give confidence. And look, we all know the state of this economy. If people are donating not because they don't know what to do with their money or they have extra to just throw around, they want to be sure that these donations will directly go to the people and will impact their lives positively, will help at least ameliorate their plight. So you must have structures, you must have integrity, you must have systems for accountability and transparency. So we have the Accountability Elders Council. It's a 7-member council. You have chiefs there from the Mefe Traditional Council, the Bator Traditional Council, Fujoku Togoma Volu Traditional Council. It is chaired by Professor Neche Afedo, who is a social work expert. Is done, similar relief support systems in Denmark for many years, but he's retired now. And in there you also have very celebrated local entrepreneur Nicholas Bodeha, who owns Best Care Hotel. So these are people who they themselves are self-made.
So they volunteered, or you appointed?
Yeah,
or
I appointed them. I appointed them, but it's sacrificial.
Wow.
They all have they are well-to-do, so they are not going to be looking for relief items, rice, oil, sugar, and all of that. And so every item that comes, they collect the weigh bills or the quantities, and then they also advise on the distribution. We have looked at the 69 communities affected, and we have done the analysis. We've noticed that Murphy traditional area, which is the epicenter, 53% of the affected persons come from that traditional area. So in the distribution of the relief items, they get 53%. Then the rest of the community...
You're doing this breakdown, because many have raised concerns that it seems it's going to just one area, so it's good that you're breaking it down in percentages for us to understand and appreciate.
Yes,
please go.
Because you see, you have 21 camps. Even across the river, there's a Dofwadidoma camp, Fujoku camp, Agbetikpo camp. So 53%, to be fair, goes to Mapa, and then the other communities remember that 69 communities are affected. The displaced persons are 12,633 according to NADMO. Then the houses that were damaged, totally destroyed, more than 1,500.
1,500 homes?
Yes. Can you believe that? Totally destroyed, submerged, and then damaged. Unfortunately, rural Ghana, a lot of the homes are clay mud houses. So underwater for a few hours, they'll all crumble. Wow. So it's a nightmare. And then 53 schools have been totally destroyed. We just did the latest, data analysis, and we have counted 53 schools.
This is a very serious situation.
It's very, very serious. It's a catastrophe. And I have here, I'm glad you asked me about how we are documenting. I have here the latest count. Remember that 2 weeks ago, I posted how many have donated so far. It was 100 as at 3rd November. Now, as at today, the last group being the women's wing of the Assemblies of God Church, we have 156, and we have a team that is always updating, and nobody is left behind. I wish there is time to run through this list quickly, but
no, give it to us. We'll publish it online.
Okay, great.
For you exclusively. We'll do just that.
Great. But, and I want to just take a moment,
please do,
to celebrate Ghanaians. To be honest with you, Bolare, I have been so moved by the generosity, the compassion of Ghanaians. We've always known we are nice people, we are warm, Ghanaians are hospitable, but I have experienced it. As we say on the streets, Fili Gadochi.
That's right.
I'm just lost for words.
Experience.
First hand. I mean, the people just call you. Look, we are in your constituency. Where are you?
Wow.
I mean, you don't have to call anybody, beg anybody. I mean, people are just pouring in. Your own group, EIB, out in the constituency one day, they called me that, hey, Honorable, where are you? We are here with
COA.
With COA.
Yes, COA plus mixture.
Yeah, COA plus mixture.
Right.
And the professor himself drove all the way from Cape Coast.
Professor Duncan, correct?
Yes, Professor Duncan. I was so moved, and the churches, the foundations, corporate Ghana, and their CEOs themselves. I mean, look at engineers and planners.
Ibrahim Mahama was there.
He didn't only do a large 4-track donation. He also decided that he will come back, because we took him around and he said, no, my engineers can help, because the water levels still high after 3 weeks and they were not receding. So he said, look, you need an engineering solution. So he sent over his engineers and they helped with dredging.
Wow.
For free. I mean, not a penny, not a peso. Look, he even said that, look, the hotel accommodation, for all you have to do, show them which hotel they are going to sleep. We'll take care of the bill. Mawum's construction, a number of roads had been cut off, so we couldn't send relief items to the displaced camps. They just called me and said, look, we're seeing on TV all these roads that have been cut off. We are ready. My team is moving.
And they moved
and they moved in. And they are still there 2 weeks now.
What's the name of the company? Let's celebrate them.
Mawum's Construction.
Mawum's Construction.
Yes, Alhaji Fuseni is the CEO. You know,
I saw Tobinco also leading.
Tobinco brought us. Will you believe that they brought us medicines that could take care of 30,000 people? Can you believe that? Wow. A giant truck. 30,000 people. So our health director is saying that, look, he doesn't need medicine for the next 2 years.
Wow.
You know, and that he's not going to disturb me, because every month he's calling me, please, we've run out, help us with medicines.
You know, many have also said that
this
has tested your leadership quality. The way you are coordinating this, you're on TV, you're speaking on radio, you're on ground. And for me, and I should single you out for praise, you do it. No donation is too small. If somebody's coming in there with 500, you are there on ground, if only you're around. And for me, I should, praise you for that. I would say congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Really, but are you losing sleep in all of this? Are you under stress? How are you coping? Because your health is also important. How are you doing this?
Now you remind me of the complaints of my wife.
Your wife is complaining,
and my
your
doctors.
children, yes, and your doctors.
Yes, but
what are they saying to you?
They say, look, you have lost weight, you are not eating, you can't sleep, you have become so dark, and all of that, you know. And I tell them that, look, if you are a leader in a community, and thousands of your people are displaced, how can you sleep?
How can you sleep?
What kind of conscience do you have? I mean, if your people are in classrooms, no mattresses, no kitchens, no toilets, no bedrooms, no showers, I mean, how can you sleep? How can you be comfortable in yourself, and see this as normal? You see 85-year-olds, 91-year-olds. I mean, Bola, you have no idea how many times I've broken down. There are times there are times that people have come to do donations, and they just have to call me aside, send me into their car and say, look, you're taking this too personal. You calm down, because it's very difficult to see these elderly people, and they are in retirement. There is no way they don't have anything left. All their savings. And for a lot of my people, the banking environment is too plush, too intimidating. So they save money, in their homes.
So they've lost
everything. Their clothes, which they treasure so much. Our women and their Hollandi and all of those things. It's all gone. Their appliances, their gadgets, their certificates. Everything is gone.
You are broken man.
Livelihoods.
Yes.
It's their farms. You see, my people, more than 80%. You see, here in the capital, a lot of people are salaried workers.
Right.
It's not the case in rural Ghana. More than 80% is what they do that they live on. So their farms are gone. Their livestock. Their fish ponds. Look, I brought in CSIR about some 2 years ago. They trained my young people on the new fingerlings, new, bee farming, mushroom farming, and all of these things. We gave them capital. It's all gone. GIZ also came to support us about a year ago, and we helped them raise capital. It's all washed away. Everything, all the fish cages are gone. Everything is gone.
But Honorable, you know what?
It's a terrible situation.
Right.
So you cannot be yourself. That is why you've noticed that there've been a number of times in Parliament when people try to make light of the situation, try to even add lights and all of that. I just lose my cool, because you see, I have never seen anything like this in my lifetime. Never. And to become a refugee in your own country, your own hometown, the land of your birth, and then you are living in destitution, total squalor. You have nothing at all. from hero to zero, from grace to grass, absolutely nothing. Overnight.
So certainly we'll talk about the displaced people and what you're doing as well. Already we have messages coming in and many saluting you, like I said earlier, that look, you've done a yeoman's job. I know there's a lot more to do, but some relief here as well. Yesterday the finance minister made you the focus of attention with pictures from the visit, to Mepe, to access the impact of the dam spillage in the budget presentation. Were you surprised by how you were spotlighted?
I've become the face of this disaster, isn't it? And my constituency is the epicenter. If you look at the data, according to NADMO, about 30,000 people are displaced across the country, but we have 12,633. We are the worst affected constituency, and so I'm not surprised that I've become, the center